1.01, Getting Started. You're going to be using your student guide, page 5, for this very first flipped lesson. Lesson Introduction, Beginning. History is the study of the human past, the story of change over time. It's a story based on evidence. Our physical world is the setting that helps shape the story, and real people are its heroes. Historians ask questions about all of these elements. Why did Europeans of the Middle Ages build cathedrals? How did the shoguns of Japan maintain their power? What inspired explorers to set sail across the seas? Join our odyssey through history. The questions are endless, and the answers are amazing. Lesson objectives. When you finish this lesson, you should be able to recall the late Middle Ages in Europe and Asia. This is where you'll begin with your student guide. You'll notice this slide matches up with question number 1 on page 5. Christianity spread throughout Europe. Amid the chaos of war waged by Germanic tribes, Christian missionaries spread the gospel of their religion. Monks started monasteries and schools throughout Europe. Bishops oversaw the buildings of cathedrals. Priests worked among common folk on manors and in cities. Christendom was a troubled realm at the end of the Middle Ages, and note this matches up with question number 2. The Christian church was engaged in infighting over the 3 leaders. Many people were dying of starvation due to the famine. In many towns, more than half of the people had died from Black Death. War raged as England and France fought the 100 Years' War. This would match up with question number 3. Elements that helped the Byzantine Empire rise to power during the early Middle Ages. The Byzantine Empire straddled Europe and Asia. Ambitious emperors expanded the empire. The empire was a center of trade, and the trade goods went to and came from distant parts of the world. Scholarship thrived, and many learned men moved to Byzantium, meaning many educated men. And you'll notice this matches up with question number 4. How did the Muslim world keep learning alive? In the House of Wisdom, Baghdad's famous library, Muslim, Jewish, and Christian scholars translated texts from all over the world. Muslim scholars worked hard to advance every field of knowledge, including mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. Muslim translation and scholarship could be found in many Muslim cities. And then this will be the final question for this study guide, and you'll notice this matches up with question number 5. Factors which caused the fall of the Mongols Empire. The Mongols had a hard time ruling their vast domain. They weren't skilled at running the machinery of government. During the 14th century, the Mongols faced challenges in all parts of their empire. The Chinese expelled the Mongol Yuan dynasty. The Russians plotted to overthrow their Tatar masters. Ottoman Turks in Asia Minor grew restless under Mongol rule. And then we come to the end of our very first flip lesson. History is who we are and why we are the way we are. History is not just the past, history is the present. And so this is the basic overview of how our flip lessons will go. I won't give a tutorial with each question every time, but you'll notice that the slides go directly along with the questions that you are assigned for your student guide. Okay? So we'll go ahead and stop there for today. Thank you so much for joining me.